to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises, give them all praises. Where the fuck am I going? Who the hell could I be? All this time I've been lost. Vessel trapped in the sea. Chains holding my legs. I just want to be free. This pick in my throat. Hell yeah, and they know it. Heritage keep going. You can see it in my phenotypes and that damn Indian showing. This knowledge keeping me steady. 45 on my hip and my armor man stay ready. I hit the streets in my Chevy. Blunt, burn, smell smoking heavy. Man, here you go, I got plenty. Prayers up for what's in it. In the land I lost many. Cause every nigga ain't feeling. And every man ain't willing. No D-bows but Stanley. No heroes for my family. Why the pigs killing us daily. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises, give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises, give them all praises. Where the fuck do you come from? Kidnapping our babies. 11 million abortions. Whole country is scorching. Baby stealing my portion. Bitch, give me my land back. We ain't signed no contracts. Why you wasting all of our trust funds? We don't know who your dad is, but we know who your kinfolk. Take the food off of my plate. Eat that shit with my phone. You invader. Motherfucking invader, this is for the invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High, all praises to the Most High, all praises to the Most High. Give them all praises, give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High, all praises to the Most High, all praises to the Most High. Give them all praises, give them all praises. Hey ya, 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 hey ya. All praises to the Most High, all praises to the Most High, all praises to the Most High. Give them all praises, give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises, give them all praises. Hey ya, 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 hey ya,
Thank you for calling Cherokee Nation. If you know your party's extension, please enter it now. If you would like to dial by name, press the pound key. If you wish to speak to our receptionist during normal business hours, press 0 now or continue to hold, and you will be automatically connected. If you would like to contact the registration department, please press 1. For the tag office. Thank you for calling Cherokee Nation Tribal Registration. Your call is very important to us. If you would like to have information on how to obtain a registration packet, please press 1. For information on address changes, duplicate cards, Indian preference letters, or name changes, please press 2. To repeat this message, press 3. Thank you. Please while I transfer your call. Yes, hello. Thank you for calling Cherokee Nation Registration.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I just wanted to get some information further, like how can I register? How can I register to become a Cherokee or a member of the Cherokee Nation?
All right. Do you have a direct descendant? Do you know if you have a direct descendant that is on the dog road?
Nah, I don't. My grandfather is from Alabama, and he's
There you go. Okay. If they're from Alabama, then they won't be on our road. We're here. They had to have been in Oklahoma. If they're in Alabama, that sounds like that's going to be the Eastern Band Cherokee, and I have their number.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second. Let me grab you. All right, okay. What you said Eastern Cherokee, right? Okay. What number would that be? Peace. You can hear this, Jack? Jack.
I just jumped in.
Let me know if you can hear me. 888?
No,
828
359
359. Okay.
6469.
6469. Hey, is this somebody I can? Is this somebody? I'm gonna call them. I wanted to know, is this somebody I can possibly speak to that probably can tell me a little bit about the history? Because I'm just trying to gather as much information as I can.
Okay. History of like what?
Like as far as the Cherokee Nation is concerned, because all right, let me just say, I'm doing a documentary, right? And what I keep encountering is Black Americans saying they Cherokees, and I'm saying in a large number. It's not a mistake because it's too many people. It's too many of them doing the documentary.
Well, they're all like we have them, but they call them Cherokee freemen.
Nah, these people not freemen. These people are in.
Okay.
These people are part. These people has been affected because of what Andrew Jackson did. Because if you know the history, the majority of the Indians stayed in the Southeast. They didn't go on the Trail of Tears. So the majority of the people that's in the Southeast now, there's no Indian people in the Southeast. Most of the people in the Southeast are all Black people. And most Black people are the ones saying they got Indian in them. So is it like, because what I'm trying to do is this. I do research. I look at all the Southeast tribes. None of the Southeast tribes look Mongoloid. What you see amongst all the Southeast tribes is either you see a direct pattern. Either you see a European, you see a Black, or what we consider to be a colored person, or you will see what would be called a mulatto, meaning a mixture of the two. I don't find no definite. I'm sorry.
What do you mean by the difference between Black and color?
I mean, because most of according to the research that I find, most of the Indians was classified as colored. Do you know that Indians was enslaved in the millions here in this country, and they was all classified as colored? So millions of Indians was enslaved, and before 1965, before they allowed all these immigrants to come, it was only white, colored, it was Asian, and it was Native American. Now, prior to 1830, Andrew Jackson already was classifying and enslaving Indians in a large number in the South. These Indians are not on none of these census records. The only thing you see on the census is white. You see free white person, and you see free person color, and then you see slaves. So it would. I'm sorry, say again.
Where at there?
Not just according to research, because a lot of your massy, because you don't even find no name Cherokee. You find the Aniyawanya or the Tsaugi or the Tsauji or however you will pronounce it. and however you pronounce it according to the reconstructed language. But you don't find it yet. The most of the people, like the Cherokee that was in the Appalachian Mountains, and they was part of the Tuscarora, the Yamasee, the Choctaw, and all these other tribes. After Andrew Jackson, okay, so but now what I'm saying is, what is the identity of a Native American? Because there wasn't a. This is not a melting pot like everybody. It's a melting pot now because of immigration since the Hart-Celler Act of 1965. But prior to that, it was only Europeans and the people called Indians. And then the word slave is ambiguous because they was already taking the Pequots from Massachusetts to Barbados. Now, they were saying that the people that they bringing back from Barbados are Africans, but no, they Negroes. These are already indigenous people who was in that land that they just bringing back, calling Negroes, and we thinking they're Africans. So it's a lot of people. That's right. I mean, but understand, but the English, Negro is not an English word, because when the Spanish came here, they applied that word to people here. They seen. Yeah, I mean, here in North America, it's a totally different situation. But what I'm saying is, the British had colonies set up in the Caribbean, and the British was here in the East Coast, and they was sending people, the ones that they wasn't sending to New York, Charleston, and Louisiana. So what happened to all these millions of Indians that was enslaved? What are they? They classified as colored. So that means they would be black people. That means they would be that, because my grandfather colored. I mean, it depends. I mean, like you said, you must fight yourself with them. No, but I'm saying according to the government, because they changed documentation. You have people after 1890 telling them that they was Indians, but they was changing. They was changing it. Walter Plecker did it, and the Jim Crow records did it in 1910. So that will mean that the majority of people that's Black Americans, they're not all Africans. Some of these people are Indians. Correct. But why are we not being allowed to claim that we're Indians then? Because it might be some of them, they like they have to be But they know that the U.S. government the U.S. government wanted us to assimilate census. Listen, I got documentation. But I'm saying, if they're not on those roads, then there's nothing we can do. But okay. Well, I mean, as far as I understand. My last name City. So I mean, you probably didn't rank because one of my ancestors was on the rolls, but because he applied in Alabama. Excuse me, on the Eastern Cherokee board. He applied, but what happened was he wasn't told. A lot of so-called people that was classified. No, I'm sorry. Right. He wasn't told. He wasn't properly told. Right back then, you wasn't told, because like you said, back then all of them were dead, slaves or blacks, whatever. Yeah, you wasn't supposed to be able to be the right. So yeah, you're not going to be like, oh, I'll tell you that and know that we're supposed to be here in time for this at this time. Mm-hmm. So you know some of the history though. So this is not. But let me. So okay. So honestly saying, right? Because all right, from my observation from studying Native American history for over 13 years, this is what I found out. I found out that historians split up Native American history in 10 different orders. You get Northeast, Southeast. Now, Northeast, Southeast is the most interesting because they came to Virginia first. They didn't land in Dakota first. So the people that's in South Dakota that's claiming that they are Pocahontas descendants and it has something to do with things, they didn't have nothing even to do with that. The people that's because like I said, they only say, I don't know how many numbers you got according to the Trellatives, but we do know the Chickamaugas. Are you familiar with the Chickamaugas? Okay, the Chickamauga Indians were dragging canoeing to Tucson. The rest of his tribe was enslaved. So if they was enslaved and they was classified as colored, and you got a lot of people out here listen, I don't want no reparations. I would like my land. I would like some land because my grandfather was stripped out of a lot of acres of land. I just want to be recognized. I just want to be recognized I don't even want to be an Indian. I just want to be recognized as an Aborigine. I just want these people to come out and say, look, okay, they did bring some black people here, but it was black people here too. And they know it. Like, they know it. You see, I don't know if you ever seen the images. They got drawings of people who came here that you cannot deny that they know who came here. And even, see, what I do is I'm researching the mounds. Yeah. So, you know, that, I mean, I'm glad you're being honest, though, but I'm doing research on the mounds, and what I noticed was Thomas Jefferson said, particularly, that the slaves used to go to the mounds and mourn. So he knew that these was their descendants that was buried in these mounds. So how could they come from Africa if these people been buried there for thousands of years? So I mean, like we know the history. We know we've been lied to. We know we're not Africans. We know we've been here, and like we just like I said, I don't have no problem with none of you guys or whatever the situation is with you guys claiming to be whatever you are, because I do know that black Indians or black colored men, colored Indians took on European wives and vice versa. It wasn't all just from the slave master sleeping with the it came like Bacon Rebellion. If you research Bacon Rebellion, at that time you had many so-called, you will call them people of color, because they're going to say they Negroes. But another thing that I found was when the Indians was enslaved, they was classified as Negroes. And then when they was released, or they was under manumission, or however they was released, then they would be classified as colored. So I definitely just wanted to just have a conversation with one of you guys, because I was like, I wanted to know whether or not, you guys are current with at least some of the history, because I know a lot of people that's on the tribe are not even Indians. I seen the chief. And I'm not, listen, understand this, right? We know that Europeans came in from Europe. Can we agree with that? Can we agree that prior to Europeans coming here, there was no Europeans here? So how is the chief of the Cherokee European? He's not. I mean, he would be classic. He looks like a European. He don't look like an Indian. He don't look like no Indian I've ever seen. He look like what would you would classify as a, huh? I'm talking about Baker, Chief Baker. I mean, and then what I notice is that some of these chiefs live over there in Europe. Is that true? That some of them live in Europe. They live all over though, right? But so what? Okay, all right. I mean, because because I know the history. I know about the Kitawa. I know all about the Knights of the Golden Circle. I know about Albert Pike. I know about Nias Boltonau. I know about, and these are, but all of them are Europeans. None of them are indigenous Indians. All of them are Europeans who took over the tribes and sold the rest of the tribes. But them are the original. But see, look, what they did in the South was wanted the land. They wanted the land, so they wanted the people to assimilate. Andrew Jackson says either assimilation or annihilation. Okay, well that's what they did. But I mean, it's true. What I mean. Yeah, I mean, well, that's what I'm just saying as far as the history. So so I definitely appreciate having this conversation with you. It's been wonderful. So where can I get some history of like some of the names and everything from you guys? Maybe let me get his my history. The name of the heritage center. Hold on. It's 918. You said, all right. You said, hold up. Let me write this down. All right, 918 456 6007. Okay, I got it. Thank you very much. You have a blessed day. Okay. Thank you. No doubt. Okay. Bye bye. All right, man. As y'all can see, just a conversation, man. You know what I'm saying? The lady was honest, and when you come with the information, they gotta submit to it. They can't laugh at you. because they know the truth. They know you know. So, I mean, just to show, I got another one. I got two other ones. I got one with Seminole. One of them is too long. I couldn't upload it to my main laptop, and it's kind. I mean, my desktop, because my laptop is kind of low. So I'm gonna try to work on that though. But like I said, man, that's what culture freedom is about, man. Culture freedom is about you being able to claim who you are and trying to live amongst that, man. Now, let's take it here real quick. Let's go here real quick before we go any further, right? And whether or not you think these people going to acknowledge this or not, you got to be the one that's going to enforce it. Okay, so this is a undrip, just so you guys will see. This ain't Freestyle Friday. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna show you guys. See? All right, so we already been through this already, as you know. But Article 1, indigenous people had a right to a full enjoyment as a collective or as individuals of all human rights and fundamental freedoms as recognized in the Charter of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and the International Human Rights Laws. Article 2, indigenous people and individuals are free and equal of all other people, and individuals have the right to be free from all kinds of discrimination. So we've been discriminated against. So we've been discriminated against heavy, okay, in exercise of their rights, okay, and particularly that's based on their indigenous original identity or identity. Article 3, indigenous people have the right to self-determine self-determination by virtue of that right. They freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economical and social and cultural development. Article 4, indigenous people in exercising of their rights and self-determination have the right to autonomy or self-government in matters relating in their internal and local affairs. All are all as all well as ways and means for financing and autonomous functions. Article 5. Indigenous people have the right to maintain and strengthen their distant political, legal, economy, social, and cultural institutions while retaining their right to participate fully, meaning contracts. Okay, when you say right to participate, that means participate among contractual agreements if they so choose in political, economical status, and cultural life of the state. Article 6. Every indigenous individual have the right to a nationality. Okay? Article 7. Indigenous individuals have the right to life, physical and mental integrity, liberty, security of person. Part 2 is indigenous people have the right to collective rights to live in freedom, peace, and security as distant people, and shall not be subjected to any act of genocide or any other act of violence, included forcibly removing children from groups or any other groups. Article 8. Indigenous people and individuals have the right not to be subjected. Enforce assimilation. Enforced assimilation. Enforced assimilation or destruction of their culture. Now, what did it read in making the Indians white? Who was the main participatory in cultural destruction? Who was the main people I carry reading that was the main people that was influenced the cultural destruction? Okay, but it's telling you right here, according to United Nations laws, that indigenous people and individuals have the right not to be subjected to force assimilation, my dude, okay, or destruction of their culture freedom, okay. States shall provide effective mechanisms for prevention of and redress for any action which has the aim or the effect of depriving them of the integrity. Now I said this is what you deserve a redress for, right? Listen, any act which the aim or effect of depriving them or of their integrity as district people or of their cultural values or ethnic identities. B is any action which has the aim or effect of disposing, no, disposing them of their land, territories, and resources. See, okay. Any form of forced population transfer which has the aim of effect of violating or undermining any of their rights, any form of forced assimilation or integrity action, any form of propaganda designed to promote or incite racial, ethnic discrimination directly against them. Now, that right there is where we're going to stop, okay? Because if you go here, go right here. Let's go to the Seminole Nation too. Since we didn't visit all them other nations, fuck it. You know how I do. Okay, let's let me see something. So let's see what some of the people look like. Let's see what the chiefs look like. Okay, so this is Greg Chilcote, and he is the principal chief of the Tselkia Harjo band of Dare clan. It's saying Chief Chilcote was born August 21st, 1968 in Seminole, Oklahoma. He is honored to have Larry and Ida Wood Chilcote as parents and the privilege of a grandson of Jimmy and Flora Harjo Woods. Okay. Now, this is who this guy is, all right, whether you subscribe to it or not. And this is the assistant chief, Lewis Johnson. Okay. Now look, Lewis Johnson, my dude. Now it says is the son of the late Charles Jiggs. Now I want to see. Let's Google this guy. Let me see something real quick. All right, hold up. You know what? My man just hold on. Let me see something. I'm gonna send you the link right now. Hold up, little bro. I got you. Give me a second. I'm gonna send you the link. All right, my dude. I just sent it to you. All right, so let's go back to this real quick. So his father, it says the son of Charles. Let's see if we can find a picture of what Charles Jig looked like. Charles Jig Johnson. Hold up. Let's find this guy. Louis Jackson. Now look who his father is. Watch this real quick, y'all. Watch this. Check this. Let me see. Maybe this is, maybe it's not. Let me see something. Let's see. Triggs Johnson. Let me Seminole. Now look, let's see what he looked like. Charles Johnson. It's a couple of Charles Johnsons that lived there. Let me see if we can get an image of them.
Peace, peace.
Peace, my brother. Peace. What's good with you?
Nah.
All right. Um. All right, man. Introduce yourself, bro, to the people.
Yo, what's up? What's up? This Love Legacy, man. Just wanted to drop in. I'll wait till you finish saying what you're saying. I wanted to tell when I call these people what they was trying to tell me.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah. Let's. All right. You could definitely do that real quick. All right. So this right here. So this guy right here. His father is Charles Jig Johnson and Sue Ann Kilcrease. Now I want to see. Let me see. We can find his. Let me see if we can find his mother. Let's see if we can find her. I just wanted to see what she looked like. I got to because I mean,
Yeah.
like, why the fuck none of these niggas? Why none the fuck none of these chiefs is look like us? I just want to know that. Why is it ironic none of these chiefs look like us? And if they is, they don't recognize you as you. You had to become from a slave or African. So, like, what?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, like for real. Like, I mean, look at this shit. I don't know if this is his mom's. I guess this would be it right here. So this would probably be it right here. No, that's a Steven. Nah, I'm bugging. Let me see something. I just wanted to just see it since I had him up there. Fuck it, why not? Let me see if we can get an image of him. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. I can't get no image of this lady. But when I looked the first time, this is what they said Charles Jig was. This guy right
What
here.
the fuck? This
Yup,
shit is
that's what they
crazy,
said he
man.
was.
Yeah.
Look, that's what they said he was. They
Yeah.
said Charles. Yup.
See, and it would be
Um.
different. It would be different if they wasn't being biased. You know what I'm saying? And they had genie actual lineage. A lot of these people, and they wasn't being biased. But being that they being biased, it's like, come on, man. We got to start challenging that shit, especially Cherokee, especially people that's Cherokee, man.
Hell,
Especially
you get heard the conversation.
you in them five
They,
tribes, you man. Y'all need to speak up.
they ain't saying nothing, my dude, because they already know that money they getting every motherfucking month
That's
look
what it's
good. Niggas,
about.
and you know what though? You know the funny thing too. What he just said, right? He just said. Now look, I don't know. Let me see if this. That's Charles D. I don't know if this the brother right here. Let me see something real quick. Maybe. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe sometime it might. I mean, but when I pulled it up, I mean, this is just
Well, hit
his
the link
name.
right there. Cape Cod. It say Cape Cod Times right there. Click that
Yeah,
so you can view the page. What they got the picture on it.
let's see.
See Cape Cod. See this. This probably ain't the person. I know Cape Cod ain't in no Oklahoma. Where's the Seminole tribe at? They in
Oh,
Oklahoma, right?
that one is yeah, that's in Oklahoma. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they
Cape
ain't in
Cod,
Oklahoma.
yeah,
They
that
Cape
ain't yeah,
Cod.
yeah. But one of the other jokers that came up was
Yeah, he
he.
look like an
Well, let me
Indian
see
though. I'll
something.
tell you that much. He like a
Yeah.
real Indian.
Look, this guy right here.
Oh,
This who
it's
came up. Let me see something. Yeah,
getting itch.
yeah. Let me see something. Well, that's in Arkin. That's somewhere else. Let me get. Oh, no, that ain't his own father right there. But nonetheless, though, this is what they rolling with, and you know what I'm saying. Now, now look. All right, I'm just saying, like, what, like, I mean, what, like, I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to come to an understanding because I know when we deal with ethnicity, that certain
Yeah.
ethnicities was not here.
At
So
least at least his name Johnson. At least he got. At least he did that.
exactly, but that's what I'm saying. So if his name Johnson, he had to have either a white mother, a white father, or a black father. So either his father was black and his father was mixed somewhere down the line, or his father was white.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we do know at least that much. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But if you look at this guy, his name is something totally different. His name is Chilcote. I never heard that name before. And he looked like, I don't know what, he looked like a fucking Indian from East India. But I don't, like I said, I don't even want to get all into it. But for the most part, go ahead, you can share your
You say he look like the golden child?
bro, man, look, my dude, yeah, this is what we
I
working
want the
with.
knife.
Did you call? So what happened when you called them?
So yeah, so I called them because, well, I'm already in my tribe. The majority of my family is the Pony or Catawba. But when I was still, looking and trying to find information and everything, I found a census from 1885 that my fourth or fifth grandfather filled out. His name was Wade Hampton, and he filled it out, and he was I believe he was between Mississippi and Louisiana, I guess back and forth or whatever. But anyway, he filled out the census for Choctaw Nation in 1885. So when I called them, the first thing came out their mouth, she said, "What, was he black?" So I'm like, "Well, he was listed as black," but I said that doesn't matter. Oh, well, then he's a freeman. First of all, if you when you go in and fill out the census for any of these nations or anything like that, it will say freedmen. It will say freedmen, or it will say or it would just be plain. It'll say Choctaw. So nowhere on it did it say freedom and freedmen, and they would make that distinction. I'm pretty sure, right? Because they make the distinction every time. Every time we call them, it's the freedmen pop right out their mouth. So she tried to hit me with that, like, oh, he must have been a freeman and all this other stuff. So I said, no, man, this says this, that, da, 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 whatever, whatever. So long story short, what I'm saying, she just basically just dismissed me, you know what I'm saying, from being Choctaw at all, and then, oh, all of a sudden I'm a freeman. But I didn't battle the lady down or nothing like that. What I did was I called over to the Oklahoma Historical Society, and actually it was a lady over there that I know was white, but she was extremely helpful. Like, she stayed on the phone goddamn 2 hours trying to help me because, like I said, I wasn't really trying to get into the tribe. What I was trying to do was get history on my relative, on my
Mm-hmm.
ancestor. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as you start talking to them and all of that, they hurry and get this defensive because they know what time it is. Especially when she said that, oh, was he black and all of that. I'm like, well, that doesn't hold any bearing because black has nothing to do with color, with the color of your skin. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she was pissed off. She didn't really want to talk no more. Like, I'm surprised that they stayed on the phone long as they did with the times that y'all called, because they was not trying to talk to me.
So I
You
was
know?
edifying her. She was. I mean, like I said. I mean, you wasn't trying to go in, but I was like, so.
Nah,
I was.
I wasn't trying to go because like I said, I already established the majority of my family was Saponia Catawba, you know what I'm saying, on different lines. So I wasn't trying to, you know what I'm saying, wasn't trying to fight it. But on another note, it's just fucked up, period, that how you do, because like I got some Cherokee in my family, but they was quote unquote enslaved, you know what I mean, and shit like that, you know what I mean, and now they just stuck. So all my life I've been told I was Cherokee, you know what I'm saying. I do the genealogy, I see that they was enslaved or whatever, and there's no justice for that. So what about all the Cherokees walking around, everybody walking around saying that they Cherokee? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying everybody's right, but everybody ain't wrong.
Yep.
More than half of them ain't wrong when they say they Cherokee, because when you look, the people saying they Cherokee and Choctaw, all of these Seminole, all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? All these people ain't lying, man, about who the fuck they are and who people said they was. Cause I know
Mm-hmm.
my great grandmother, she knew who the fuck she was exactly.
Man,
She
them
ain't gonna
old
walk around and say
people.
she Cherokee and she not Cherokee.
Them older people back in the day. They kept records. They was
Yeah,
precise. They know who they was more than these niggas do today. They
yeah,
was precise with them records. They
yeah.
was
My
making
my
because they.
my great grand, she had a Bible, but it burned up in a fire.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
everything went with that.
Yeah, with heroin and everything, and everybody else had that same story because there was no records. They didn't know about no. It wasn't no internet back then, so it was word of mouth. If you said what you was, you motherfuckers back then, they would get on you harder. You see how now you say you're an Indian and people be
Hmm.
laughing. Back then, motherfuckers knew you was an Indian, but because
Hmm.
of the roots, because
Hmm.
of roots, and because of everything else, we've been
Hmm.
deceived. Now, the funny thing is this, right? Now, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? In my quest of finding this shit out. I was under the impression, I always was told that, oh, black people came here on a slave ship. Upon
Mhm.
my observation, according to the images I've seen of Arnoldas Martinez, or Montezuma, and that picture
Mhm.
of America or whatever, that changed my thought on, and then the other images that I've seen or whatever, right?
Mhm.
That changed the whole narrative. Now, prior to me even engaging or embarking upon this journey or embarking upon any historical remnants of what really went took place here or my history, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I went into Pan-Africanism. So
Mhm.
Pan-Africanism had me thinking or according, remember, because we was told we were slaves, we came from nothing and we're nothing. So you
Mhm.
deal with the John Henry Clarks and Dr. Ben and how, you know what I'm saying, the shit how they was doing, and I was all for it, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
until I run across certain individuals that's called Moors, and then
Mhm.
they start saying, nah, bro, these niggas, and then I see how other niggas was banging against them because they wasn't feeding into the Pan African spectrum. So I
Mhm.
seen how people was banging. So I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, man. Do these niggas got some
Yeah.
truth? And I just started listening to more because it wasn't no Aborigines talking about this shit, my dude. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So I started gravitating towards them. Then I know certain ones of them. I built one day. I went to Brooklyn, and I built with the Moore Science Temple 13.
Mhm.
And one of the brothers in there, right? He got a video with the brother Rich from Black Magic, what's the name? Or whatever, right? They got a
Mhm.
video, right? So he kept showing me mad shit. Like, I'm like, he was showing me mad shit. I'm like, so why do you say you're a Moor? Like, he said, because we Moors too. He said, I just got under the science of this shit right here because this shit working for me. But he was like, he was telling me, like, nigga, we Indians, nigga, we Indians. We just use this.
Mhm.
This is something totally different that, you know what I'm saying, that we can use too. Because a lot of these people don't recognize it. So when he was saying, he said, my people Shinnecock. And he said, my people
Mhm.
Shinnecock and Montauk. And I'm
Mhm.
like, what? So he was like, yeah, he was showing me pictures, bro. He was showing me
Yeah.
pictures. We was building. He was showing, I
That's
was
what.
there for like 3 hours. I was
Yeah,
there for
that's the
3 hours.
problem. That's the problem that people having right now with the Moors is they don't understand that it's just as like, okay, if you was a nation of Islam, right? That's not nation of Islam is not your race, not your ethnicity.
That's
So
right.
that's what people don't that's what people not understanding, and and what I find too is that we have been sucked into this Europeanism of finding differences instead of similarities. You know what I'm saying? That's what I try to practice now is finding similarities, not finding the bad in things, but try to find the good in things. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm able to get along
Exactly.
with everybody.
Exactly. And you could build like tonight. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna see Captain Tazaria, and I'm gonna tell him some more shit about the Americas. I know he be like, "Oh man, here come this nigga," and I be like, I'm saying he be in the gym. Like, he go to the gym. I
Yeah.
go to. And I fuck with him and I be showing him. I'm like, yeah, nigga, this is an observation center that he found in Mexico, nigga, along with some Phoenician Bible scripts. Look, I said along with some Phoenician Bible scripts. He was like, nigga, we teach that too. I said, well, why are you
Mhm.
teaching? I mean, I wasn't debating. Like, that's my man. I fuck with. I don't really go in. His belief is his belief, and I ain't trying to change nobody. I told him what we do. I told him what we were and whatever, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I built with him. I fuck with them brothers in Brooklyn. Them niggas is straight up like real legit brothers, man. They showed me mad love. They ain't had no
Mhm.
problem with anything that we was talking about. They wasn't trying to convert anybody. They weren't like, yeah, man, tell the Aborigines to come to the Morris side. Nah, he wasn't trying to do none of that. They were saying anything,
Mhm.
nigga, come here and build with us. We open to it. We want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We want to build with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you know what I'm saying? But so like you said, similarities. You find
Mhm.
similarities upon people. Like I said, I've been through the wire, through like the legal system, and just like and like I said, not even trying to indulge in any laws, but you see how the laws are not beneficiary to us, as even if you do break the crime and you shouldn't be breaking laws or whatever according to them, or
Mhm.
breaking these so-called statutory laws. Even if you do, you know that you ain't commit a crime. So
Mhm.
when you understand all this shit, then you be on a different price. But niggas ain't doing it. Niggas is just saying, all right,
Yeah.
like, well, I'm this or I'm that. Oh, stop
Yeah.
fucking with these people. As long
Yeah.
as a nigga don't try to convert you and you can gain some information from it,
Mm-hmm.
you should be all willing to build with that individual. Not
Mm-hmm.
just stand on your square. I know. Isaiah said that everybody was Moors, but that's his interpretation of what he think. He looking
Mm-hmm.
at it like you being called black now. Everybody being called black, and he said he know that word, the same way the word black is generalized. Generalized among people who melanated, the same way that the
Mm-hmm.
word Moor once upon a time was generalized among
Yeah.
people who was melanated among
Yeah.
numerous faiths.
Yeah, and he
Among
cleared that up. He cleared that up because I watched the video recently where he cleared some of that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? That it's not, everything ain't from. I'm just paraphrasing. I can't speak for him, but from what I got from it was everything ain't concrete, man. Everybody just need to fall the fuck back. Everything ain't so stiff and stern. Like we just gotta have an understanding. You know what I'm saying? You think that brother walk around with a feather and all of that and don't have no understanding?
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, he's talking to us.
huh?
He talking to us, trying to help us, and we trying to find something wrong with him.
That's
I
what.
don't get it. I just don't get it, man. And for the people that's in these five tribes or whatever, that's part of the original tribes, Cherokee or whatever. There's ways for y'all to get together, right? Get your language. The language is out there. You could download an app and learn Cherokee. You know what I'm saying? And start building your tribe back up. It's that simple.
hmm
Start building it back up, man. You know what I'm saying? But we so caught up in entertainment and bullshitting and trying to be the smartest motherfucker in the chat or wherever the fuck we at. You know what I'm saying? We wasting time, man. We are. We really wasting time, man.
That's a fact. That's a physic. You know what I'm saying? From the door. Like I said, I ain't trying to cause no fucking division. It's 60 million of us that's already divided that don't know who the fuck we are.
Yeah.
Among numerous different you want to say ideologies. Was
Mhm.
it, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
60 million of us ultimately. So if we're
Mhm.
trying to establish the fact of what did some of these people look like that was here and they fit the narrative to what the fuck we look like, then we need
Mhm.
to start saying, "Oh, wait a minute, man. Something is what is it? Was it
Yeah.
Africans or was it? They only telling you Africans came here because they found
Mhm.
black people here, and they want to
Mhm.
automatically just make you think that these people came from there. They have
Yeah.
no proof these people came from nowhere
Yeah.
because these people is living here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're living here, but they're trying to
Mhm.
make you think that they came from there. And
Mhm.
this is the reason where a lot of the confusion come into place because you don't see
Mhm.
yourself in none of these tribes. When you go
Mhm.
to none of them, and then you sitting in there, you like, yo, man, well, you feel left out because they're
Yeah.
telling you you're not. You're telling you the only reason why you are Indian because you was a fucking slave and the slave master snuck in the motherfucker
Mhm.
and had sex with your people.
Yeah.
And from his perspective, more than likely, he telling us that I wanted to know what he looked like.
Mhm.
I wanted to know what he looked like because I know what he
Mhm.
sound like, but I wanted to know what
Mhm.
he looked like. You understand
Um.
what I'm saying? See,
This.
the last.
No, I was gonna say, about the whole Pan Africanism and everything like that. I don't got nothing against none of them. You know what I'm saying, or whatever they trying to do. But this is my thing though. I don't see the power in being here and claiming somewhere else.
That's
I don't
right.
see the power in that. Regardless if you believe you're African or not, or you know you African or whatever it is, right? If you have any American Indian lineage and you know that you have it, then that's a power. That's power that we have right here on this land. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not gonna go over there, then you might as well fall in and say, "Yo, let's do something here. Let's build together here." I think a lot of stuff is rooted in money, and on both sides. It ain't just the Pan Africans; it's Aboriginals too. It's a couple channels that I don't really fuck with, cause I see what they about. They about views and bullshitting and all of that, and I'm just not with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will come at one of them niggas before I come at one of the Pan Africans, because you playing with grandma, and I got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Like. I just think as a whole, man, we just need to build, man. Fuck all the nonsense. And to be honest, as Aboriginals, man, I think we should just stop even allowing them people to come on our fucking channels. We should not even give them any power anymore. Anybody, that goes for anybody, whether they so-called Native Americans, whether they Pan Africans, whatever they are. You know what I'm saying? We just don't got time for that. I don't see how we have time for any of that shit. We got time. We need to have time for history. We need to have time for building. We need to have time for genealogy. and we need to have time for our fucking children.
That's a fact.
Which that should be first.
That's
You
a
know what I'm
fact.
saying? A lot of motherfuckers that Aboriginal, Pan African, and they ain't taking care of their fucking kids, man. Cut it out. But go ahead, bro.
Nah,
You know, I start getting fired up. These niggas making me sick, man. I had a brother take something off my page because I didn't privatize my Facebook like that. So brother gonna take something off my page and then make a post against me, like against Aboriginals with my post. Like I never seen this person a day in my life. They red, black, and green from the head to the floor. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on, bro. What are you doing?
these
You know
niggas
what I'm
get
saying?
personal. They get
And in real
personal.
life, I will slap you with a brick, like in real life.
And they don't. They know that. They know that the possibilities of that happening is
It's
real
very
slim to none.
yeah, bro. You know,
And,
and
it,
it's
and even
not, and it's not. Let me clarify. It's not like, oh, you know, just I'm violent or anything like that. But I get on another level when you start fucking with grandma. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in my house. I know what my people are not gonna sit there and say that they're not African for no reason. Like, what would be the reason to do that? To not be proud of who you were? That don't make no sense. And then people try to say that, oh, we ain't proud of this, we ain't proud of that. Bro, we was just screaming Africa a year ago, 2 years ago, or a few years ago. We was screaming that shit loud. We was proud of that. Okay, but now we come to the realization that we not that. It's just not true. And that's on a case to case basis. But I would say, just on top of my head, and even I'm gonna even give a little bit more just to be fair, to make people feel good. I'll say 70% of us is Aboriginal, okay, and I'm being real lenient here. 70% of, and that's just from me doing genealogy, man, from helping other people with their genealogy. Okay, I've come across things that said African, but it wasn't the people that I was searching for. They had the same name, different years, stuff like that. So you do see African. You know what I'm saying? On certain genealogy, but so far all the genealogy that I've dealt with, I have not found anybody that I know that had African on their genealogy at all. And a lot of people hit me up because I put up videos to help people with their genealogy. So where's the Africans at?
mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody self-hate. No, self-hate is skipping over white people, skipping over Asians that you know infiltrated being Aboriginal to this land. You know what I'm saying? And coming over to our channel and having a problem with us. That's self-hate.
That's right. That's a fact, and
How
that's
you
what
skip
like a
over
lot
the
of
enemy?
these niggas don't know though. Like on Facebook, these mongoloids and these people who come from this. I don't know what the fuck to call them then. If niggas is mad because of Mongol, look, the
Yeah,
people who think they Mongols, we not even referring. No niggas don't even look like Mongols. I would
yeah.
call a Mongol is the people that could look like a Filipino. Then if you go
Mm,
into certain parts of Mexico, you see these
mm.
these people who don't all look the same, my dude.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't all look the same.
yeah.
Canelo do not look like you.
The
You got
only
to listen.
ones really left is the only ones really left are in South America. You see them in Mexico and stuff like that, and even they are mixed. So I
Yup.
think I know that I'm mixed. I know that I'm mixed with some Asians. Definitely, there ain't no doubt. You know what I'm saying about that. But I'm not them. You know what I'm saying? That's like to be honest. I know all my people was from here, other than the Europeans, right? Mostly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know that I'm not what my 10th great grandfather was.
That's right. See.
You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not that. You know
It's
what I
how easy
mean?
that was. See how easy that is? See how easy that is? Because they ain't got what the fuck they got you classified as. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck they think you is when they see you on
Nothing.
the fucking? No, I'm just saying. I
Yeah.
mean, listen, we ain't gotta uphold none of their classifications, but
Mm-mm.
they believe this shit is to be true. But according to
Mm.
them, they would classify you as colored or Negro, no
Yeah.
matter
Well, it
what.
didn't make sense to put first. This is another thing too. It wouldn't make sense for them to put black. See, the whole reason for them putting black was to keep us out of standing in law. Okay, that's what black and white had to do. It had nothing to do with skin color. Okay, they just put all of these pale people under white, and they put us under black. But wouldn't it make sense for them to put African if we was all from Africa? Why even think of black? Why even go there? That doesn't make any sense.
Look what El Bora said. See, that's being real. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I fuck with El Bora. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look. She said I got, and that's being real about it. We can't, like I said, man. I got white. My great grandmother was white. My great grandmother was her. She was half white, half black. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to sit here and say she was a fucking Indian. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
out of my mind because I know that that's
Mm-hmm.
not right and exact. But some people, if I show you a picture of her, you will say she was. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to sit here and cape and say, well, what is we trying to establish here? Are we trying to speak up for the people who no one, everybody is denying, or when you call them and say, well, you was a Cherokee slave, but all of the
Mm-hmm.
same people saying they Cherokees? How is that
Mm-hmm.
possible? Oh, because you was a slave to a Cherokee, and this is the
Mm-hmm.
but you a white man, and you telling me I'm not, I'm a slave to you. What's the difference from you? Because like I said, if you understand the Knights of the Golden Circle, they was all within the Cherokees. When my man was saying, when my man was telling Kalinago, well, we enslaved black people. He sitting there, he said that shit with pride, dude. And
Mm-hmm.
he know that we know that they mixed in and then they kept amalgamating amongst their other people. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? And we know that. And then this is the reason, and they was doing all what they was doing in the name of what we consider to be white supremacy. Okay, so we can't deny it.
Yeah,
We
white people,
cannot
even the
deny it.
white people, it's so many videos popping up all the time with white people saying exactly who we are, that we're not from Africa, and you still have these Negroes trying to fight against us, saying that we are. Like the enemy saying that we not. What the hell else do you need?
That's a fact.
That's crazy as hell, man. So that let me know that, it ain't even about that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit is about money. A lot of shit is about mental illness, man. At this point, it's mental illness, bro. To think that every other continent was so called black, right? Except for here.
Hmm.
You gotta be mentally ill, man. You
And
ain't running down on no Aboriginal Australia. You talking about y'all African, what y'all talking about? This, that. You ain't running down on them, but you running down on us.
right, that's right.
Come on, your cousins, your brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like it's literally like that. Cause if you do the genealogy, you'll see how many times these names and lines cross. So a lot of us are related.
Mm-hmm.
Little do we know.
Because we was all on the same parts, bro. And then some people names, like when I was looking at a lot of these names too, a lot of these names was changing. Either they would add a S on, or take a S off, or add
Yeah,
another letter to
misspelling.
it,
Yeah.
and then you wouldn't think that these names was connected. You
Uh
know what I'm
huh.
saying? You wouldn't think these names was connected at all. So,
Yeah.
like I said, a lot of times you have to really look and see, and you see a lot of these names, like we can say the name Johnson. Okay, but like
Mhm.
I said, if you look up his family lineage, I'm quite sure that it's a European somewhere up in
Mhm.
here.
And you'll
And then,
see Johnston.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You probably got a Jensen somewhere that's really a Johnson.
yeah, Jensen, yup, exactly,
Yeah, all
Jensen,
kind of shit.
yup,
Sanders.
yup.
I
So
see it all the time.
they
I
took
see
the
it
U out.
all the time. I see it
Mm-hmm,
all the time. Like like I said, as I do the genealogy, I see it all the time, man. So it's man, it's a lot of confusion, man. But us as the Aboriginals, man, we gotta start blocking that shit out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, anybody do what they want to do, but for us to keep wasting time on other people, man. We
mm-hmm,
gotta spend time on ourselves, man. We gotta spend time on ourselves. We gotta spend time learning our culture. We gotta spend time doing our genealogy, doing the history. And another thing too, you don't even listen. If you don't want to do the fucking genealogy, you ain't got to. You know what I'm saying? Go change your fucking paperwork.
mm-hmm,
Live like an Indian.
mm-hmm,
It's that simple. Let these people know I'm Indian. When you fill out all your shit, fill out for a job, whatever you do, Indian. All
mm-hmm.
across there, Native American Indian, American Indian on all your documents. Let your kids know. You know what I'm saying? Fill out the census that's coming up. Put it on there.
Yep. Even
That's
if
it.
you ain't part of these tribes. But like I said,
Yeah.
though, they know that they changed these classifications. The ones that was all the Indians that was left over in the United States territory, they just did you a favor. And they just magically changed your classification with the stroke of a pen. That's why they
Mm-hmm.
tell you. And then and we don't understand that because, like I said, now I understand the ones that went to Oklahoma are the ones that formed that Cherokee nation that was separate from the original Cherokees that stayed behind. The
Mm-hmm.
majority of Cherokees stayed in the South. And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, how I fuck all the farmers and all the people who was doing all this? Because you look and you see, well, what was the Indians fucking economical to fucking farming and doing all
Mm-hmm.
that. And it makes sense. Why? Because what's more important? You need fucking food. These niggas trying to go around and steal shit from people so they can buy food or have money to spend this. And meanwhile, only thing we trying to do is just live off the land. But yet they want to use the land to exploit it and put plants and all this shit so they can get guys and
Mm-hmm.
more materialist or more
Yeah.
whatever you want to. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
is what this.
I don't even believe the whole Trail of Tears thing, man. I think all of that shit was just a plot to steal these tribes from us. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And that was it. All these people died on the Trail of Tears and all of this. I think at this point, man, I think all of that shit is bullshit. They just wanted to try to break up everything and establish these tribes so they could lock us away from our culture. And that's all.
Bro, they
Period.
said 4,000. They said,
Cause
look,
what the fuck
they.
you gonna send it? Why would you send the people that's cultivating the land away?
Mm-hmm. No,
You
that's what
already won.
I'm saying. No. Mm-hmm.
You already won. Why would you send them away?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, that don't make no sense, man.
That's what I'm trying to say. So you had some blacks that did go, but they're telling you a number like 4,000. Now that's on Cherokee Nation. Now look, think about this, right? We could go on the census in 1790 and see in each state that the number exceed amongst black people, slaves, and white people, the numbers exceed largely over 4,000. So you're saying from the Seminole Nation, which is Florida, plus you got North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. Then you got Georgia, and you got other parts. And you saying all these people gathered and went on one trail of tear when you giving us a number of 4,000 people. Now that's 4,000 people. Probably only 1,500 or to 2,000 people probably made it. Who knows? And probably most of the people who made it were probably Negroes. But we do know that the Indians that they was finding out in the plains, they was adding them to these territories. A lot of these so-called mongoloid looking people. These were the people they was putting on these reservations as well. That's why in the east, in the west, you start finding them. They was putting them on these reservations, my dude. And then in
Yeah.
Oklahoma, you see that they just was throwing everybody and putting them all together. And then you don't even want to be part of one of them tribes because these tribes, the only reason why they federally recognized is because they went to Oklahoma. That's why.
Mhm.
But you can make them treaties that they got, make them honor them treaties. But plus, we just looked
Mhm.
at the rights of indigenous people. We know that also they had passed a law, which in 1960 something, that they said that the Hyperdessive Act and all these laws, the shit that the Racial Integrity Acts was illegal for them to do. You know what I'm saying? And they telling you. So you got people who classified as colored who now trying to go back and reclaim what they originally was prior to
Mhm.
having that misclassification applied to them to fit in the construct of a so-called society.
Yeah. Man, if I was one of the Cherokee freedmen, people their family on that list, man, I go out there and get my motherfucking land. Fuck the bullshit. And I would learn as much as I can about the culture. I stay low, learn as much as I can about everything, and take that shit back to my fucking people. For real.
Hmm.
Another thing I want to say too is as I looked on the Freeman thing, man, I remember the whole 40 acres and the mule and all that, right? The whole 40 acres, that's what the Freeman got. 40 acres. The
Yep.
the the full members got 60 acres. The Freeman got 40 acres. You think it's coincidence they got 40 acres and they start talking about this 40 acres and a mule?
Hmm.
Come on, man. We gotta wake up, man. So who was getting the 40 acres? The Indian, man. Gotta
Hmm.
cut the nonsense. Cut the nonsense out, man.
And then he gave you a plow. He said, "Well, give him 40 acres." He said 40 acres and a mule.
Mm-hmm.
Then give him a plow. And this is why they killed Lincoln. They killed Lincoln because of that. You know what I'm saying? They killed them because of that land. They eventually, what happened? What did Lincoln predecessor do? He came in and snatched that shit from the freemen. And then also, if you look up and see, Andrew Johnson, not Andrew Jackson, Andrew Johnson, no. If you look up and see, he was part of the Knights of the Golden Circle. And if you look and see who else was part of the Knights of the Golden Circle, all of these outlaws that was going around robbing people, like Jesse James, and like you said, Frank James. A lot of people say,
Jesse James was mixed too.
yeah, but they
Jesse James
saying that
picture
these
with him with
niggas,
long hair.
yeah, but they saying that him and his brother became the Rockefellers. Now they saying they became the Rockefellers later, right? And remember, they got their wealth from robbing these freeman banks. The reason the freeman banks went out because of the outlaw. When you see these outlaws robbing these banks, they robbing the fucking freeman banks. We don't even know it though. And that's the reason why the freeman banks went out of business. But they're gonna try to say, oh, mismanagement, lost money. No, we know how the money was lost because you was robbing them. So, that's how they got their money. That's how they got their money.
Yeah, they killed Lincoln. They killed Lincoln because Lincoln was trying to look out for his people. Because Lincoln, remember, Lincoln was Indian too.
Yeah, but that image of Lincoln they show us is not correct. You heard me? That shit they show us in Lincoln is not correct.
Yeah,
These people could show us
But
anything.
even the white lady. Remember the white lady who did the thing about racism and all of that. The
Yeah,
white lady has been fighting, been doing.
with Jane,
Yeah,
Muller.
Even she came out saying that he was Melungian and but she tried to hijack too. She said, "Oh, he was a Melungian and black and white. What the fuck is black?
That's
All right,
right.
he was a goddamn Indian.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
why they
So,
killed his ass because he's
what the
trying to
fuck
fight
is a
because he was defending
Melungeon?
his
Where do a
people."
Melungeon originate from? You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Where do they originate from? And what racial classification would they be in?
they
That's all.
Indians.
See what I'm saying?
They Indians too. They just call themselves Melungians because they got a certain mix. That's all it is.
Let's see, that's what I'm trying to say. So that's the whole thing. They give credit to all these people here with these exotic looks and tell you they Indian, but they won't tell you Wesley Snipes are Indian. They won't tell you Morgan Freeman are Indian. They won't tell you Jamie Foxx are Indian. They won't tell you none of these people are Indian. All these people got African looks in them and African features, and that's why they look over there to Africa because they find people who look like them. They don't care. They don't mind to look in the South America, Mexico City, and Central America, and Brazil, and all these other
But
islands.
if you wake up, but look, this is the funny thing though. If you wake up, you could see the difference between the dark ones that's over here and the dark ones that's over there. Because all of us got a reddish hue. All of us got like a reddish hue. You know what I'm saying? Like a rusty hue. You know what I'm saying? So you could be the darkest motherfucker. You could be dark as you want to be. Your ass won't be as black as the darkest African.
You got a glow to you.
Yeah,
Like
you
a
got a
glow.
different. Yeah. So yeah, man, they can't win with that. With the hair, but they got people confused, man. Because even my grandmother, you know what I'm saying? Even she was like, "Yeah, look at my hair." This and that. I said, "Nah, grandma, gotta let you know, hair don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. That's recessive." I ain't go that deep on her, but you know what I mean. It's recessive, and that's just common sense because if you snatch somebody with straight hair, if you go to pull their hair, it's gonna come out. If you go grab somebody with a nappy afro, it's gonna pull back. So obviously the afro is stronger, but they done told us to hate it.
I mean,
Shit, crazy man.
but saying that sound like racism.
Yeah, I can't really hear you that good.
I'm sorry, no. I said
Oh, okay.
that sound like racism. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what?
That about the curly hair and the straight hair and thing. And this is like I said, we gotta at some point in time, either it is or it ain't.
Yeah.
You can't keep on saying, well, was it was it black people here or was it not black people here? Yes or no?
Mhm.
That's it. That's it. That's the question we want to know.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
don't give us no, because we know what we look like here in the southeast. So
Yeah.
I know
We
what we.
look like regardless of light or dark, we look like so-called blacks.
That's right.
Period.
Mhm. You
Period.
understand what I'm
We look
saying?
good
So
first. Yeah.
that's the whole method to my madness, because
Mhm.
other people don't see themselves as being an Indian, even though that, yo, I have met some of the darkest people tell me that they was Cherokee, Choctaw, Seminole. And I'm like,
Mhm.
so why don't you subscribe to that? They said, because, I know we mix with Africa. Ho. Who told you that? How do you know you mix with African? How
Somebody
do you,
outside.
hey. And then someone directly will tell you that they never heard nothing about no Africa.
Yeah, I never heard of nothing about it in my home. I didn't hear nothing about that. That shit came. I could tell you because I was there when that shit really came up. People say the 80s with Jesse Jackson and all that, but when I saw it was like early 90s. They start pushing dashikis. They start coming out with these black Ken dolls and all this other kind of shit to push that agenda and to make money off of it.
Hmm.
Okay, so I know when it started happening. They try to make it seem like, oh, so-called blacks been killing each other and all this other shit. All this shit is new, bruh. Just in my lifetime, I've seen how the world done changed, how our world done changed.
Yup.
Before a police officer come on the block and try to fuck with somebody, they get their ass ran the fuck away. Now they come do what the fuck they want because now we divided.
Hmm.
They did a number and now they got us thinking it's always been like this and it hasn't. All of us come from working families. We didn't come from no hustlers. If you came from a hustler, guess what? You came from one hustler. Or you might have a family where maybe your grandmother was a hustler.
Yup. That shit was
It's
frowned
possible,
upon.
but that shit is not a huge thing, man. It's not the majority.
That shit was frowned upon, man, my dude.
Yeah,
Wasn't
that's a
nobody
small
big up
majority.
and nobody who was selling drugs.
You could look in your again, the genealogy. If you look
Hmm.
at your genealogy, you ain't even gotta go that far back. You're right, because the average person could go back to 1870. If you go back to 1870, man, you're not gonna see no arrest and all of that. You're not gonna see none of that shit. You're gonna see people working. All right, I could name probably two criminals in my tree. Two criminals out of like what I say roughly 1,500 people.
But most of them wanted to work, but then the opportunities in some cases wasn't up. Because remember, after after the Emancipation Proclamation, they made laws to where if you wasn't working, they would lock you up. Remember, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So a lot of time we saying that we come from a working class, but in some cases the opportunity to find gainful employment wasn't always there for us. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you see now. It ain't always there. If you see I see grown ass men begging for change. Grown ass men defeated on drugs and like, yo, and begging for change. And I'll just be sitting there looking like, yo, I'll be amazed. Like, come on, my dude. Like you that defeated to where this is your last resort. This is the best thing you could come up with. To stand out here and beg for some fucking change next to the damn parkway.
What I want to know is how all of a sudden in the 70s or the 60s and all of this, all these drugs start sweeping in. Where was the drugs at before?
Hmm. Well, they did a trial on South America first, so they did it in South America in the 1970s first. And so when they did, Freebase was created in one of them Central American countries or whatever, and then they brought it to North America. When they was Freebase and they were first white people, then they created crack, which they kind of mixed with what ammonia and chemicals. So the shit they was doing was different from the shit we was doing. That's why you see a lot of white people in back in them days. They was able to get off that shit. The motherfucking white motherfucker fucking get high than a motherfucker and then get up and go to work the next week and won't fuck with it for about another 3 or 4 months. And but black motherfucker don't do that. You know what I'm saying? They automatically just go. And I'm not saying some of us do, but we just automatically hook to that shit when you do indulge in it. So they already knew what they was doing, bro. They said that the trial that they ran in Central and South America left people docile. Mothers didn't care about their children. They didn't care about nothing about eating or bathing or doing nothing about their hygiene, only about the individual drug itself. And when you do the studies on this, you see, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to do the study. I seen this shit first person, my dude. I lived in a building where motherfuckers be on the steps smoking a pipe, and you walking downstairs like, yo, what the fuck is you doing? Like, get the fuck off my like really, like, even though I was involved in it, I still was kind of like, but then you start saying, well, damn, like, okay, like I'm the reason they doing this because they come to buy shit from us. And then, what I'm saying, you directly involved, man. But
Yo,
I'm yeah.
my bad. AP said the link didn't work. The link you sent.
Okay, hold up. Man. But yeah, man.
Yeah, but that's definitely what they did. Like I said, man, a lot of this shit is new, man. A lot of this shit is new. They act like it's been going all this time, and they've actually taken our identities and given us a new one. They took away our Aboriginal identity, and now they done made us gangsters and all this other shit, which is really is they fucking culture. We was warriors. You know what I'm saying? We was warriors. We wasn't quote unquote gangsters. You had a few here and there through our history, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gangster to take somebody's territory, right? But
Mm-hmm.
but it was like I said, it was a different thing. Because now, really, it's just play. That's really is. Motherfuckers out here acting. All right? Because you put anybody, I'm gonna keep it real. The average person, 99%, the 99% of people, if you put them under a certain amount of pressure, they're gonna fucking crack and be a bitch. So cut it out, man. For real. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I done been in situations. I trust me, man. I done been in situations where I done had to fold, and I done been in situations where I couldn't fold. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I done been in a situation where I was locked up, and a nigga brolic as hell tried to press me till I play in the bathroom, and I had to guess what I had to do? I had to play the fucking bathroom, nigga. Cause guess what? I know you gonna beat the dog shit out of me, but you won't have to, cause I ain't gonna be nobody, bitch.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? But I done had a gun pulled on me and had to be like, yo, it is what it is. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or,
you got,
or
yeah,
four,
you got
four or
that.
five niggas that surrounded me. Now I
Yeah,
mean, I had to hop that fence and get the fuck on.
that's
I
right.
ain't gonna take no L. You know what I'm saying? So all of that gangster shit, man, cut it out, bro. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We ain't no fucking gangsters. It's all pretend, man. It's all pretend. We need to stop fucking pretending and learn who the fuck we are and do what the fuck we gotta do. Stop bullshitting, man. Arguing back and forth with motherfucker. How you gonna argue with somebody about who the fuck you are? I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie. I was doing it the first 2 weeks. Then I said, man, I got a headache. This shit, my motherfucking head hurt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
can't do it.
That's
Continue
why
to do this.
that's exactly what I came to. Like, I don't mind like explaining the history, but as far as when you going back and forth, a wise man gonna want to sit down with you and just say, all right, well, look, man, I understand that you can't be like crazy, or you something, you have to know something that we don't know. So what do you know that we don't know? None of these niggas is even sit and even ask that question, like, because if I know damn well a motherfucker's like when on a flat earth thing. Now we all know that people been saying that the earth is round from, well, some people thought the earth was flat according to what we were saying, they was gonna fall off. But then you also hear about the round earth model. So of course at first motherfucker saying that earth is flat, you like, what, man? This nigga out of his mind. Nigga, we all know do you really know that? How do
Nope.
you know it? What
Ain't
how
no
do you
shit.
know? How do you know yourself? That's what I'm trying to
Somebody
say.
told them. Somebody
Yeah.
told them. That's what these motherfuckers keep coming with, you know. And I hate to bring them up, but all these so-called Africans, these African Americans, they keep coming with some shit somebody else fucking told them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Ain't
saying?
doing
But
no research. No
common sense will tell you certain shit. Just common sense will tell you some shit. So you telling me if you enslave a whole race of people that you gonna let them know that this is their land? No, you gonna tell them they from somewhere else. That's just common sense.
or
That's
hope
just
that they forget, or hope that you just blend in and you forget. Like, fuck it, man. Like
that's
you ain't gonna
happening.
say nothing about it. You gonna
Yeah.
forget. You know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah,
I said,
we done blended in. Man,
mhm,
listen, we more European than the Europeans, man.
you know,
Niggas sitting around, drinking English tea and shit with their, with their legs crossed, petting their dog and shit. We more European than the damn Europeans, man.
you know.
Shit is
That's nigga,
sad.
yeah, nigga got that little dog and shit. Nigga got that little dog.
Got the little dog,
He got
walking the
that.
little dog. Like, get the fuck
Yeah,
out of here. Like
yeah,
for real, bro. It's fucked up, man. But I'm gonna play the background, man.
no doubt. AP.
Peace, peace, peace. Salute, salute, salute to the brother on the panel. What's going on, big bro?
Peace,
A1, big
peace,
bro.
man. Pissed off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
man.
all is, man. That's the day in the life. Sometimes we gotta find shit to laugh because there's so much shit to really be upset about. How these people brutally took over our land, you know what I'm saying? Destroyed our people, indoctrinated our people, misclassified, declassified our people. It's a lot of shit. The list goes on and on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And to the point where you don't even know who you are. You think you somebody else. You think you came from somewhere else. You think you are somebody else. And then it's to the point to where you can't even recognize. You can't even see yourself in that picture, man. That's why, like now, when you got kids, like damn, they can't watch. They ain't got no cartoons that represent them. They got cartoons that represent anybody else, but you don't see no cartoons representing us. And one thing, even though niggas laughed at motherfucking at Fat Albert and shit, and they thought that that was like picking on certain black people or trying to make fun. But you know, at the end of the day, when I was coming up, you had certain cartoons that was for black people. Certain ones. It wasn't a lot, but it was some. But now you ain't got nothing. So when you do get an opportunity to feel good about yourself, or somebody telling you, you got somebody in your family that's giving you some historical advice or whatever, and they tell you exactly who you is, and you just completely deny it because you want to be part of the trend, or you want to say for yourself, well, I did my DNA and shit, and know damn well that shit got your ass somewhere up in the country you ain't never been in. It got you somewhere in the country you ain't never gonna go back to. You know what I'm saying? Unless you one of these so-called bougie educated Negroes that go back to Africa and be crying and then go there and be acting all goofy, like, oh, I know I was from here, like, and have no, but your grandmother told you that your ass was from motherfucking fucking North Carolina, South Carolina. But you talking about you are African. You talking about your ass from fucking Zimbabwe and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't say, nope, your grandmother lied to you. Now, why the fuck would your grandmother lie to you? Obviously, somebody passed that shit down to her if she knew who she was. Well, yeah, you running around here talking about, oh, well, yeah, I did my DNA. I did my DNA. But you know what? I was just curious because the Native American didn't pop up. I can remember grandma used to say we was Indian. Oh, well, I guess she was lying about, and then you got another black, ignorant, self-hating person like, oh, we all say we got Indian in us. You know how that is. We all say we got Indian in us. We all say that. Come on, you know we ain't Indian.
We
You
all
know
want to be
we
Indian.
ain't, and because they look on the reservations and see a band of diversity, and then they don't find themselves upon that band of diversity, and then automatically count themselves out of being an Indian. I'm telling you, if you don't find nobody that
Mhm.
look like you, my dude, you're gonna disqualify yourself automatically.
Yeah,
Or
my tribe looks like me, so I'm happy about that.
and that's beautiful. But these Negroes out here, their tribe, they don't know who the fuck. They go, like I said, you call it Cherokee. You get a nigga who told you you was a free man slave. And he said generously to you. He said generously, and he said over and over to you. And then like I said, we know that you enslaved the Chickamauga. And we know that, remember, they took over the Confederacy. The Confederacy was the Chickamauga. That's why the Chickamauga and Tutankhamun had the motherfucking Chickamauga flag. Because they had the flag first. The first what's the name flag would had Chickamauga on it, and they know that it was the Chickamauga flag first. The Confederacy was already the Indians that was in the South. They just took over that shit. They took it over and made you think that the Confederacy was these motherfuckers, these what's the names, these Europeans in the South that was owning slaves. Nah, that's that. They took that from when they took over, when they dispersed the Chickamauga in Tennessee in 1790. Son, this is when the assimilation of the Cherokees begun. This is why right after that, 40 years later, 30 years later, they sent them. They tried to send them. They sent them on the Trail of Tears. Shit, you say, yeah, say 40, say 19, 1830. You know what I'm saying? They sent them on the Trail of Tears. So like I said, man, this is your history. It's not going nowhere.
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep on posting the shit. I
Yeah.
mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, just like either you agree or you disagree, but don't try to edify me because I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of study too. I kind of study a little something too. You know what I'm saying? I
You
kind of
can't
study.
really disagree if you this is another thing too, man. If you haven't done your personal genealogy, I mean honest people could do what you could do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? If I want to right now, I could throw on a thong with a strap on hoodie, with a snap on hoodie and run outside. You know what I'm saying? But but that ain't gonna make me African, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, that's right.
So I don't understand how you could talk about pyramids and all this other shit and you can't tell me about your own family, but then you're gonna come and tell me about who I am. That's
Hmm.
crazy as hell. Another thing that's crazy as hell, like I said earlier, is with the like the Choctaw. You know what I'm saying? My ancestor wrote their name down on a Choctaw census in 1885, and then these people telling me that they 1899 trumps my 1855.
Hmm.
I mean 1885, whatever it was. It was previous to that. I think it was 1885. So it was 14 years earlier, but you telling me that yours trump mine.
But you see, but so let me ask you a question, bro. So who are the individuals who are guilty of this? Like, if you had to describe them, like, all right, I'm detective. Well, today my name is Kufanu. Today I'm detect because I don't know whether or not I'm an African or I'm an Indian because the Indians was diverse group of people where it's a un it's a un how you say it's like we cannot find or locate
Can't
what an
find an
Indian look like.
Indians.
We
Yeah, they
can't
all
find
die from disease.
it.
That's why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if I was to describe them, I would say white. I would say white or white mixed with Asian.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So we all know who to identify as, but I run across certain individuals who think this is racism. Think that no, this what's racism is somebody telling you was a slave and you a freeman, and then saying that that's racism,
No,
and we see
nah.
it.
I
So
think.
you ain't supposed to combat it with the truth.
I
You know what I'm
think.
saying? We supposed to combat that with the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I'm just saying, is it not truth or whatever? Didn't listen. What brought you to my dude? What brought you to? Even though you said it in your family, but what brought you to this was that you somewhere at some point in time you found out or you heard from somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody that you was an Indian, and you probably disregarded it for probably 2/3 of your life until the so-called awakening or what we consider to be within the last 10 years or
Hmm.
within the last 15 years.
Hmm.
But prior to that, you found self-consciousness and self-pride in being an African, right? So you was trying
Yeah.
to find an identity for your people, which you classified as black, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was
Okay.
that. Like again, I think everybody's story is the same. You know what I'm saying? It comes. See, they designed the system where if one person is right, right, and everybody else is wrong, then everybody else is right. You get what I'm saying? So when I told people that, oh yeah, my dad was Spanish, and oh yeah, my grandmother, you know what I'm saying, is Cherokee or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that was all I was identifying as. They looked at me like crazy, like, oh, you Cherokee and Spanish and yeah, get the fuck out of here. Your ass is black. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So then once that peer pressure keep coming, eventually you just totally give it up. You say, well, you know what? Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am from Africa. And
That's
you just
bro.
that's how it happens.
And it hurts, man, because you're like, man, I know my grandmother wouldn't lie to me. And some
Hmm.
people take that shit personal, like, man, damn, my grandmother lied. Like they said for real, man, grandma lied to me. This
Yeah.
DNA, man, I supposed to be Indian. My grandma said I was an
Well,
Indian.
they
And then
say,
have another self-hating Negro
yeah, well,
tell you in your face.
ignorance is for everyone. You know what I'm saying? It don't discriminate. No, I mean, I never doubted my father's background. I never doubted, you know what I'm saying, my grandmother's background. I never doubted my grandfather's background. You know what I'm saying? I just assumed that it was all about mixing. That was it. You know, we was all slaves and everything. Then when I go look at my genealogy, I could count on one hand the amount of so-called slaves. One hand out of 1,500 plus people.
It's a fact. Let me see a little bit. Let me see a little bit of this real quick right here, man. I was checking this video out. Let me see what this brother got. I ain't never seen this video. I'm gonna just see if he got some what's the names in it, but um yeah, it's another brother with some Aboriginal information that's showing some like that's the Shinnecock right there, another Shinnecock. Like these are different Indians they showing. And like I said, we know they did a number to us. We know some of us have mixtures in us, but that's not to denote that the true Indian or what the original people of this area looked at like or what they classify these people as, man. The truth is the truth, man. You can't deny the truth, man. Look, you see all these images the brother showing, like he's showing just fucking hit after hit after hit after hit after hit, and niggas still sit there and deny. And like I said, these are all see all these Indians and shit they showing.
Mm-hmm.
These is what people will classify as Negro. Now, some of them they showing got a little mongoloid in them or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but at the but what we can see consistently is the Negro features, and not the Negro features that look more like us. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That ain't just like I mean, and like I said, and that like us can be whether you is in the Caribbean, PR,
Yeah.
Cuba, DR, whether you in Colombia, Ecuador, Guatemala, certain
Mm-hmm.
parts of Mexico, Argentina, anywhere. We could say all of that. But here in the southeast, we are trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And it's like I said, and it's this confusion after confusion after confusion after confusion after confusion. You know what I'm saying? You know, we can't say, oh, everybody was here because we know that's not right and exact. We know that people came here. And just ironically, that's the people who came here that we know came here are some of the ones who's claiming to be Indian. And if they are Indian, then I'm fucking African because I don't have no relations to these people.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I'm just telling you. I haven't lived in. I lived in. Like I said, I lived in a community where it's either black or it was Puerto Ricans on the other side of the town. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, like I said, I seen Puerto Ricans that I didn't know was Puerto Ricans. I seen Puerto Ricans look like my family members or whatever, and I seen that a lot. But I also seen the other Puerto Ricans. But the other Puerto Ricans still are related to the dark skinned Puerto Ricans. It just all matters on what you choose to take after.
I'm
You
trying to
know,
understand how the hell they gonna murder or kill with disease 100 million people.
that's right.
Well, probably more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like where all these people went.
Hmm.
Come on, man. They
I
try to
mean,
go to hair texture and all of that, but you know they double down. Cause one minute, oh, where you from depends on how you look and your hair texture, and then another minute, oh, if you so called black, oh, you just nappy hair no matter where you at, and you got a wide nose no matter what.
hmm
Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying with that bullshit. You know, cause even to me, the ones that are still dark, even the East Indians, they look different. The
hmm
Aboriginals in Australia, they look different, and you gotta remember they wiped out a lot of them too.
right.
They left little villages left. And of course, they're gonna look alike because they only mixing with themselves.
Hmm.
So of course they're gonna look the same. You in a little ass village, and y'all just keep fucking each other.
Man, in this country, I seen all types of black looking people, man. I seen all types of black people in this
Exactly.
country. So that's why it's easy for for us to say, well, some of these other people who look like us can be us. But I also seen Negroes that haven't been tampered with. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and like I said, they don't look the same. They look different. According to what I'm looking at it something totally different. They say a
And
consciousness
what they
slave,
gonna and what they gonna
Negro.
say? What they gonna say about the dark skinned person like the color of Wesley Snipes? They got straight hair. He mixed with somebody too.
Yeah, I mean,
Get the fuck out of here,
they might
man.
say that, though. But you know what though? But let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
You say straight hair though, but you do know the majority of us. How many black people have you seen with straight hair?
Not a lot. Not straight. Not straight. I would say when I say straight. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the curly kind of straight. You know what I'm saying? Not fro.
You could straighten your
Not a
hair out.
fro.
You got. I mean, you got a son. I got a daughter. So like I can straighten her hair out with a blow dryer and just put some oil in it, and I can straighten her hair
No,
out, and
no,
her
no,
hair.
no. I'm not saying that. But it's another thing. Another thing too. While we at it, when you just said that, another thing too is they act like people never manage their hair.
That's
That's
right.
another thing too. Cause you
But
see,
that's
you see Indians
what do
with
we
thick
do
hair.
though? What do we what
I
do
comb
we
that shit.
what no, but understand this. Let's establish this though.
Yeah.
What do we do though? All right, what do black people do specifically? We all whether you got waves or
Mhm.
you see how a nigga hair look with waves. Now a nigga hair
Mhm.
with waves look straight because you constantly
Mhm.
brushing it and you
Mhm.
training it.
Mhm.
But you can turn and if you let your hair grow out, you will grow an afro. Because and gravity is not going to stop you from growing an afro now.
Nah. No. No.
You
No.
understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you have
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
have we always done? We always fuck with and look, listen, bro, niggas had motherfucking the flat top, then they started putting the dry curl in the flat top, then they
Mhm.
started having the fro, started
Mhm.
fading it, putting the dry
Mhm.
curl in that. Then they started
Mhm.
because remember niggas had a motherfucking a jerry curl. To have a
Mhm.
jerry curl, you had to have long hair. So you know what I'm saying? Niggas hair was all like so. This is shit that we was already
Mhm.
doing, man. It ain't not like
Yeah.
it's
Way
no
back when.
secret.
Yeah. That's what
It's
we
no.
was using bear grease and all kind of different shit. All
That's
kind of
right.
different shit. Like we've been doing shit with
Petroleum
our hair.
too.
But this
Petroleum
another thing
too.
too. Who can compare to us? They keep trying to throw us in groups and keep us
Mm-hmm.
out of groups and all this other shit, but you can't really compare us to nobody. Only
That's
thing
right.
we got in common with African people is the color of our skin.
That's right.
That's
That's right.
it. That's
Mhm.
all. They nothing. We not the same, bro. We just not.
They could watch you.
Athletically, musically, far as a dance. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? The way we act different kind of things. And we gotta understand again, this whole nigga thing, this whole gangster shit is new. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Overall, us so-called black people are always inviting, always loving. That's why we in the position that we in now.
Look, match an Akon up to any black singer. You know what I'm saying? You match Akon up, and I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just keeping it real easy. Like you match a Akon up with
Uh-huh.
Chris Brown or
Yeah.
Usher or
Yeah.
even Neo or man,
Yeah.
come on, bro. He gonna
Yeah.
get ate up like that shit. He be singing, like that. He
Yeah.
ain't really singing and shit. That ain't no
Nah.
singing.
Nah,
That
that's more
shit.
like auto tune type shit and all of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
ain't
do a lot of
singing.
that shit.
Even T-Pain will rip him up. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that. But you can go international when you from
Yeah.
another country or you don't you promote
Yeah.
yourself
You could
internationally.
look at
Cause
the
I didn't
dances. You could look at
yeah.
the dances. We really fluid. We really
Mm-hmm.
fluid with our movements. If you look at
Yep.
Africa, they really stiff.
Yeah, them
They
niggas will
hold
compare
their
you
all
quick.
their dances stiff. They could dance, but
But
they
yeah,
really stiff.
they compare you
Okay,
quick to some
and
unknown
they wearing
crowd.
us. And they taking our culture now.
Yeah, yeah.
They over there with Air Maxes, Nike Air Maxes, and all that type of shit. All that shit is us.
Mm-hmm.
All that
That's
shit is our creations, our shit, man.
a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And then I see shit talking about appropriation and all this other shit that we appropriating and all of that. But then you got these motherfuckers over here talking about we African, but you got Africans saying that we appropriating. Why the
Yeah.
fuck is we wearing dashikis? Why are we trying to be African?
And they telling you that quick, even in your own country, people who hear, like, yo, the
Yeah.
disrespect.
I just saw a video with dude from I don't know his name, but dude from Jamaica or whatever talking about he African and all that African dude barking on him on a live.
Mm-hmm,
Like nigga, you not no African. What are you talking about? You from America.
mm-hmm.
You where you say you from? Jamaica? You're Jamaican.
Yep, yep. And that's the see, and they know that's why you take the power away from them because then if you they know like they be some black Americans, right? They know we ain't the same people, so we gotta
Hmm.
watch how we come at them. But when they think you, my brother, oh, I'm happy to meet you. You see some of these people faces and shit. And like I said, look,
Hmm.
like I said, yo, certain Africans I respect. I've met a lot of Africans. Like I got a Liberian brother. that
Mm-hmm.
that be in the gym and shit. And man, like he getting his masters in finance and shit, right? So
Mm-hmm.
man, he'll be building though, but his last name is Johnson, and he from Liberia, my dude. So he already told me we already had these conversations about this shit, and like he was like, yeah, man, my mother. No, he said his father last name is Johnson. I said, get the fuck out of here. I said, where you from? He said, I'm from Africa. I said, how your father? He said, they can. My people was some of the people that came from here to there. I said, "Get you know this?" He said, "Everybody know this in that country." He said, "All of the presidents are Black Americans." I said, "Get the fuck." He said, "Yes, it's a fact." And I said, "Damn." So even when we go over there, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we stand out. We stand out. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it wrong. I ain't been in gym with some African niggas, and some of them niggas is strong as fuck. But shit, I'm just as strong as they is. They ain't doing nothing more impressive than what I'm doing. I'm doing the same shit. I'm able to lift that same shit up. You know what I'm saying? And I go in that motherfucker sometime, trying to shake off a motherfucking blunt or whatever. And I'm still lifting that same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping it
Yeah.
real. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
people try to make it seem like, oh, we got something against Aryan and all this other stuff. I could call an ex coworker that's African right now, and
Man.
we could have a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
But
He
he
made me
ain't
straight.
trying to
He's like,
tell us who we
that
are.
brother told me straight. He said, man, I never seen nobody.
Where you at,
My
bro?
bad, my bad, my bad. Yeah, I never seen nobody that loved black people so much.
Mm-hmm.
And he from Africa. He
Mm-hmm.
told me straight up. He said over there, man, the white man. He said straight up, the white man is God in Africa. You hear me? So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, word. He's like, no, 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 no. He like, look at me. Like he looking at me like, yo, look at me. The white
Mm-hmm.
man is God. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This shit is crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So even with that, look, we don't think that shit over here. You know, black people, so-called black people, have fear of white people overall, fear of the government, right? But far as like how like that being scared, like thinking a white man God and all that, hell no. Shit, we catch one motherfuckers in the alleyway, we know we could get away with it.
Yeah. Them niggas, yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. But you know what though? Like in the hood where I'm at, I see white people all the time. White people got it so
Hmm.
bad. White people got it so bad. I be feeling bad for a lot of white people in the hood. And the reason why I feel bad for them because I be like, yo, you got a whole system to support you, and you still some motherfuckers just want to be around black people is also what I realize. I realize a
Hmm.
lot of white people just want to be around black people, no matter how bad black people treat them. They just want to be around them,
Hmm.
and I'm keeping it
Yeah,
real with them. And then
but
eventually you be like, well, damn, this nigga just really want to be around it. Like
but
he ain't
we
no
so
cop.
sick. We so sick, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's something that just chill
You
like.
know
But
what
see,
I'm
that's what
saying?
I'm
Like I
saying.
said, but they
That's
know
what
where
I
they
mean.
stand at. They know their boundaries. They ain't gonna tell you
Nah, they ain't gonna say
who you
certain shit
are.
like that.
They gonna sit back and try to learn from you or try to,
Uh-huh.
try to, try to be in that type of community
What they
with
do, what they do, man, and I've seen it time and time again. They be friendly with us and all of that, so we don't tear their ass up. That's what they do. They gonna be friends with you while they need you. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I'm cool with this black guy, so that'll keep the rest of the black people away from me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Keep them off my back.
yeah, they
But
do
let
that
that
too.
motherfucker move. Let that motherfucker move out the neighborhood, and you
Yeah.
try to call him on the phone and see if he pick up.
Yeah, that's a fact too. You right about that. And you know
You
what?
know
You
what
right.
I'm saying?
As long as a nigga could get you off of you, he going. Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, they do that too. You absolutely right.
Another thing that's crazy though, man, is the only people that's safe in our neighborhoods is white people. White people ain't got to worry about the police, and the white people ain't got to worry about us.
No,
That shit is crazy, man. I remember one time I was going home late night. I had been down south for a while, and I just come back to New York after some years. So I'm walking through Bed Stuy. I get off the train on Fulton Street. So I said, let me walk this way. You know what I'm saying? Let me walk down this street or whatever. So I'm walking. It's mad late, right? So I'm walking, and I see this white dude across the street walking. Like, so I look. I said, what the fuck? In my mind, I'm like, nigga, run. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 in the morning. What are you doing out here? Like it's not safe. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, shit, I gotta watch my own ass. I ain't got time to save white boy. So I keep walking. And then I seen a white lady walking. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then I just start to relax. blacks. I said, well, shit, it's safe out here. Like that's how crazy it is, man. Like they more safe than us in our own fucking neighborhood. That's the sickness that we have. We so scared. We so scared of whitey that we'll harm each other first. We'll rob each other first, and then they try to say, "Oh, black on black crime." No, man, it's just proximity. Okay, we ain't got time to ride the train, right? 4 miles to a white neighborhood to rob them. Know what I mean, and risk trying to make it back 4 more miles. Okay, so that's what creates crime against the people of the same race. Not that we not it's not that we hate each other. It's that shit. What the fuck I'm gonna walk go this far for $1,000 when I can get it right here? And the police ain't gonna do shit.
That's right. It's but it all stems from lack of resources. Resources is what people come here to race for. And as long as you behind in the resources, it's all one. It's all great and gravy. You understand what I'm saying? Long as you behind, long as you the last one in the race or whatever, and you see you the last one in the race because you look at the employment rate amongst all individuals here in North America, and it's always black people first. Always. I don't give a fuck what you say. It's always the same situation. You understand what I'm saying? So for the most part, you have to start observing that, man, because like you could see how it is. And like I said, I mean, oh man, it's a lot, man. It's a lot when you really sit down and see how they cater to certain people, man. How the fuck is you
They do.
catering to people who come here? I'm serious, man.
Yeah, they do.
They cater to motherfuckers, man. They give people who come, they get and people who ain't even citizens free schooling and
Hmm.
get them free welfare. I mean, and get them benefits. And that's something that why wouldn't a nigga speak? I supposed to say, oh man, these poor people. No, a lot of these people come here, they fat, they full, like what part of your country was you suffering from? Oh, you just made the commitment because you wanted to come here to be something different. Oh, okay. All right, I get it.
But
But that's all it is, to be involved in the
mm,
economics. It ain't to come here and speak up for you and say you're Indian or say anything. So I don't
mhm,
expect them to do that. But don't
mhm.
expect me to say that they are Indians neither. You understand what I'm saying? Don't expect me to say anything in there. I don't care if you don't know whatever. I didn't know neither, but I know now. So
Yeah.
you don't know no better. And like I said, and a lot of them people, like we said, what I was on Facebook first. Them niggas used to attack, man, African Americans ain't African every day. Every day we used to have a fucking either a debate with a Pan African or some Mexican or some fucking. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, bro. I'm telling you. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
The Mexicans telling the Mexicans that they ain't from here and they
Mm.
not the original people of the land. We already know that. So it's man, it's crazy. And you right about the people coming here and getting more benefits and shit. Cause when I walk down the street, I see it all the time, man. I see the Africans selling shit and all of that. The police won't fuck with them. They'll tell them take that shit and get out of here. But let me go out there and try to sell some purses. They'll lock my ass up.
Bro. That's what I'm trying to say, my dude. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like you don't you speak about this shit. Oh man, you're a racist. You can't say nothing about that because we all being oppressed. But some people sign up for oppression and still get it better than we get it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Some people sign up for this experiment and they still get it better than we do.
Hmm. And
You know,
then look down on us. Then look down on us. Oh, they don't want to do shit. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. First of all, we come from entrepreneurs. So everybody, why you think motherfuckers out here trying to hustle? Why you think motherfuckers is trying to rob and shit like that? We entrepreneurs. We not used to working for no fucking body. We go to work. We get discriminated against. We go to the corner store with actual money in our pockets. We discriminated against. If I wear jeans and sneakers, I'm discriminated against. If I throw on some glasses, I'm discriminated against. If I throw on a suit, I'm discriminated against. I go to the court. I go to the courthouse. I'm discriminated against. Everywhere I go, I'm discriminated against and treated like shit. But I'm supposed to feel like somebody.
now yeah, hey, look, real quick. I'm about to play a couple of videos. All right, I'm gonna play a couple of videos real quick. We can come back and build on these. They kind of short. For the most part, you know what? Let me go on. Let me go on my louder computer. And matter of fact, you know what? Let me see something. Maybe I can play it.
However you was doing it earlier was good when you showed the video of me earlier.
Oh yeah.
That was good. However you was doing that.
I was I think I was doing it on all right, so just let me know whether or not you can hear this or whatever. We're gonna play a couple videos by Skip Gates, and I'm gonna show you one. I'm gonna play this first video. I don't know who this guy is right here. His name is Cam Naro or whatever, but he's saying he's saying this one. I'm gonna play this one, then I'm gonna play one with Skip Gates. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm just gonna probably skip through it, but just some contents to show you how people be telling us who we are, and you got people out here of the Mongoloid descent saying that we're not from here, that we're Africans. And so I just wanted to just show you how culture freedom doesn't play. Like I just showed you, like this whole thing is about culture freedom, whether you understand it or not. So let me go ahead. Let me just set this up real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me see.
I don't know everything. All of the little stories are amazing, are fascinating.
Actor Don Cheadle will never forget anything about his ancestors who lived through the aftermath of slavery. So we searched for clues about his father's side of the family. The paper trail that we uncovered confounded our expectations. Unlike most African Americans who were freed by the end of the Civil War, your ancestors weren't.
They couldn't get it right.
Well,
they just stuck to it.
Well, take a look at this.
Chickasaw Nation Freedmen Roll.
This document is an official enrollment card for the Chickasaw Freedmen, the former slaves owned by the Chickasaw Nation.
Owned by the Chickasaw Nation.
Owned by the Chickasaw Nation. Your ancestors were enslaved by Native Americans. Here's your great-great-grandmother, Mary Kemp, her 11 children, including Bill Cheadle, your great-grandfather, William. And you can see William's father, Henderson, or Hance Cheadle. You are one of the few African Americans who was not enslaved by white people, enslaved by Native Americans.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's crazy because
most people don't realize that the Cherokee, Creek, Seminole, Choctaw, and Chickasaw nations owned slaves. As self-governing entities, they weren't subject to the laws of the United States. So what did this mean for Don Cheadle's ancestors? When the Civil War ended, the 5 civilized tribes kept their slaves. They refused to liberate their slaves.
Everybody wanted to roll with the slavery thing as long as they could.
That's right. They said, come and get them.
Yeah. You got to take my slave.
You got to
pry it from my cold, dead hand.
And I had no idea.
I had neither. This is amazing.
The United States government didn't make a treaty with the Chickasaw until 1866, forcing them to liberate their slaves and make them citizens. The Chickasaws freed their slaves, but they did not offer them citizenship in the Chickasaw Nation.
Honorary white people? I mean, what's going on here?
Don, your ancestors were in Indian territory, yet they were neither Chickasaw nor were they Americans. They were a people without a country and without any legal status at all.
That's crazy.
The Chickasaw freedmen would spend decades in this stateless limbo, invisible and forgotten. By the time the century drew to a close, the United States government had turned its back on our people all over the South. But out west, where the Chickasaw freedmen had been living as stateless people for over 30 years, the status of Indian territory was about to change. In the late 1890s, the United States government drew up official rolls of the citizens and former slaves of the Native American nations. Don Cheadle's ancestors were among those who were ready to stand up and be counted. Your great-great-grandparents would have had to travel to Tishomingo, the capital of the Chickasaw Nation, in order to enroll. But it was a last chance for former slaves like your ancestors to claim Chickasaw identity. This is the land allotment records for Johnston County, Oklahoma.
Mary Kemp, Henderson Cheadle. They got some land.
And the number of acres?
40. The fabled 40.
40 acres of land given to them free and clear by their former slaveholders. Can you imagine what this meant to your ancestors?
That's huge. That's economic freedom if you can farm it and work it and use it.
Yeah. Don, your ancestors suffered for decades as a people with no status at all. Yet in the end, they received something that other African Americans, as you know, only dreamed about.
They're 40 acres.
The vaunted 40 acres.
There it is.
And right down there where your ancestors had their homesteads, you can see the town of Wiley, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Now, Wiley was one of the all-black towns founded by former slaves.
So the whole town was free slaves.
Whole town, all black. Still, can you imagine what it was like for your ancestors to live through slavery, finally get freed, then be stateless for 30 years, and then find themselves suddenly landowners and landowners in an all-black town?
Yeah, amazing. It must have felt like finally free at last, for real.
In 1907, Oklahoma became a state, and the Chickasaw freedmen were United States citizens at last. The African American people wear racial mixture right on their faces, and the greatest percentage of our admixture comes from European ancestors. But for some reason, it's much easier for us to imagine another source.
He knew his grandmother, Elizabeth Redmond, and he said she was a full-blooded Cherokee.
Like almost all African Americans I know, my relatives are convinced that we have Native Americans in the family.
This is Lucy's sister, and she had hair down to her knee. I thought she looked, like a Native American.
And that's, like I said, that was my mom, and she wore 70s headbands.
That's your
From
mom?
the 70s.
Oh,
She
your
looked
mom's
like,
cool.
Everyone thought she was Native American.
I have a little Choctaw Indian in my background.
She looked like an Indian woman. She looked like, like straight off the prairie.
They talk about the cheekbones and
Yeah, you do have high cheekbones.
yeah.
She always had long black hair, and so that's Indian hair.
But I've long been suspicious of these stories. How could so few Native Americans sleep with so many African slaves? Tina grew up believing that two of her grandparents were part Native American. But you're only 1% Native American. You know how your family has always thought that you had all this Native American heritage?
Yes.
It was white heritage that you had.
All this time, I've been thinking Indian. I was dying to find out what tribe it was.
You're from the tribe of Europe.
Wow.
And I'm 3% Native American. So I got just a little Indian.
You got a little Indian in you. 0% Native American. And 0% Native
There you
American.
go.
And 0% who were Native American.
We're going to have to tell the Choctaw Nation in Oklahoma now. I misrepresented myself. I'm not Choctaw at all.
And you'll see there's no figure for Native American because you ain't got no Native American.
Set the record straight.
Even Don Cheadle, who we would expect to have some Native American ancestry because of the connection to the Chickasaw, members of your family owned by Native Americans. But we don't find any.
Wow.
And you're not alone in not having any measurable Native American ancestry. 1 in about every 20 African Americans only 1 in 20 has any significant amount of Native American ancestry.
So apocryphal. Yeah. No. Turns out they didn't really dig you that much.
That shit is disgusting.
You see what I'm saying? And like
They ready to fuck them up.
yo, bro. You understand that, and that's what takes place, man. Anytime that you telling them you got your own people, that's why they pay him to put him in front to tell us that lie. That you would use him like he's some expert genealogist, whatever, but they use him and then we believe him. And you got people watch that channel, Finding Roots. Oh, they every time he goes somewhere where it was black people at, they was always bought there and some type of slave or some type of servant to status or whatever. They never, oh, this was a king and a chief. And like I said, and then when they show you they work along together. They all work along together. And this is what stops you from having any cultural freedom. So, like I said, man, like this is like the foolishness in which you see. You know what I'm saying? And it was another video that I
Yeah,
was
but that shit right there said a lot, man. Cause first of all, the whole Freeman thing, all that had to do with, you know what I'm saying? All that had to do with was separating one from the other, taking lighter ones and the ones that was mixing and that was down with it, and putting them in full status, and giving the so-called freeman half status. It didn't have nothing to do with slavery
That's right. But
at
remember
all.
too, the freedom. Remember, the Europeans took over, bro. They trying to see. They not trying to. That's why you have to ask these questions, man. Because you ain't gonna never
Hmm.
know. You're not gonna know, bro. Because they're gonna sit there and tell you, well, hold up, Indians own what? You got white people still posing that was Indians at that time. That's why they always
Hmm.
telling you that all of the Cherokees were slaves because all of the Cherokee leaders was white and they was all part, bro. When you understand Cherokee and Slavery Nation, bro, they
Hmm.
tell you that the Knights of the Golden Circle was part of the what we consider to be half breed Indian. This
Hmm.
is what they're calling them. I'm not calling them this, but this is what they're calling them.
Hmm.
Okay, so when you see this constantly pop up through history or whatever, and then these motherfuckers are white. John Ross and
Yeah.
all these niggas is working with the
Hmm.
government to sell the
Even
land.
even Tom, even for instance, like Tom Blunt from my history of my family, Tom Blunt was the what they call him King Tom Blunt, but he was one of the leaders of the Tuscarora, and he was a Mongol working aside the half or probably the half white or whatever that was working alongside other Europeans. You know what I'm saying? And now when you go to Tuscarora, right? As soon as I found out it was Tuscarora, I went and shot over to some Tuscarora people and inboxed them like, yeah. I'm Tuscarora, this, that, da, da, da. They like, what's your last name? They hurry up and got rid of me. Oh yeah, yeah. Go to the Saponis. Like, get your black ass out of here.
See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So
And
it's
motherfucker, my family came straight from the Tuscaroras. How you gonna tell me to go somewhere else?
see, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. And I experienced a lot of shit from these other group of people telling us who we are. You ain't got nothing to do.
Hmm.
You ain't even here in North America or Southeast America, whatever. And they telling us that we're not the Indians, motherfucker. You an
Yeah.
Indian in the middle of the
And then,
desert, my dude. You ain't got
hmm,
shit to do with what happened in Virginia. None of your people's in Virginia, but now they're there now because like I said, they allow a lot of these immigrants to come over here and they're gonna claim that they was Indians and they was in that area. You know what I'm saying? Another 40, 50 years from now.
and
So
let me be clear too. King Tom Blunt, the Tuscarora, he didn't look like the stereotypical Indian of the plains. He looked like a Mexican,
hmm,
what we consider a Mexican today. That's what he looked like, straight up. And you could go look. You could look up his picture right now. You'll see it. It's going. You just look up King Kong Blunt's photo pop up, and you tell me what you see. You know what I'm saying? And they try to come with this DNA. Oh, the DNA, this, that, da, da, da. You testing our DNA against Asians? Y'all not testing our DNA against any of these Paleo Americans.
because they telling you that there is no Paleo Americans according to them. Because the shit they finding in the mounds, they're not claiming the Indians. Listen, bro, they have a law, my dude, against any human remains that's found here. It has to go through the five civilized tribes, dude. Like really, and these niggas is the main ones there blocking it. That's taking the shit away. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, these niggas, man. I'm watching. I don't even watch TV, but I'm watching ESPN. And I see this Taco Bell commercial where all these crackers is dancing like niggas and not a nigga in sight. And like I said, this is how they jack us for shit. And then when you bring it, we've been talking about the same shit for years, man. This is nothing new. Nothing new. We've been saying black people is everywhere. We've been giving black people credit, boo, for making for all this shit. But so now we are aboriginals because you have other cultural ethnic backgrounds that's aborigines, or that ain't got nothing to do with people here in the southeast, man. It has nothing to do with us here. And that's why I try to tell brothers like, yo, like chill, man. Like, I don't like really, man,
Now, peep this right here, right? Now I just figured out. Black people are so we so inclusive. We include everybody in our shit because they don't include us in their shit. And for us to be accepted, we feel like we gotta include them in our shit for us to be accepted. Like that's the psychology. That's the psychology now. You know what I'm saying? We'll let it's okay for you to rap. Oh, it's okay for you to dance like this. It's okay this and that. But as soon as we do something that's they shit, that they feel is they shit, oh, we get the fuck out of here. Look at Lil Nas X
That's right.
with the country song, and we invented that shit.
And you ain't supposed to say nothing about it, because if you say something about it, oh, that's racism. Well, we come on, man, we can't produce hate, because we're not producing hate. We just putting a copyright on the shit that we did and just reminding. We deleting. This is a reminder. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, we did that too.
Yeah.
Like, and then we trying to get something where we can establish something to be happiness. The people who on these reservations that's claiming to be these Indians dancing around and wearing these costumes or whatever, they got some they have some how do you say, like self being, or they know who they are, or according to who they think they are. But we're the ones who are mislead and misrepresented, and we're the ones that told at the door, "No, oh, wait a minute, man. You hold up, man. You sure? Man, you might want to go to the African American part of town."
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yo, this some crazy shit, man. I don't know why my mind shot to this, but yeah, I'm in Harlem, right? And they got some African American cultural center, or whatever. Yo, they got a big ass Afro pick outside the building. And you got motherfuckers accepting that shit in Harlem. They think that that's some type of pride or whatever. To have a big ass Afro pick out there. The Afro pick gotta be like fucking 15 feet tall, man. An Afro pick in the fucking ground.
The goofiest shit ever, my dude.
My god! I'm like, is this some blaxploitation movie? Am I in a fucking blaxploitation movie? What the fuck is this? I was so pissed off. And then I'm like, that ain't even African culture. That's our culture. Cause Africans ain't no Africans with no afros. Where they at?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. But at the end of the day, you have to, like, at the end of the day, man, this is what we all experience, whether you understand it or you don't understand it, because like all the shit we seeing stops you from identifying yourself at the door. Even in hip hop, you see the way, bro, if you think they just jacked at you for music, nigga, everything that they showing you, they jacked you for. And they telling you, oh, nah, you ain't do that. And then you looking up doing the research, you're like, hold up, man, we was. What the fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Well, what are you talking about? And and even when you look up like what's the motherfucker name, the cracker that used to be on the shit, I got a video, I can't think of his name, but he tell you that it was judges and shit in certain counties in the fucking 1700s, man. So it was a lot of shit going on here that's not fully understood. Yeah, I got videos. Funny because somebody mentioned about black slaves earlier. I got 2 videos on black slave Negro slave owners, where I'm going over the whole content. I'm going name for name and how many slaves they had. So I'm well aware of that. Negro Indians owned slaves, my dude.
But who did they own? See, people gotta do you gotta do the fucking work. You gotta do the genealogy, because who did they own? Are they sure that they own people outside of their family?
That's
Are
right.
they sure? What is slavery?
That's right. That's right.
Another thing. What is slavery? You understand? You gotta understand, certain people had land and certain people didn't. If you didn't have land, how the fuck you was gonna eat? There wasn't no grocery stores.
And remember too, when they took your land from you, now you was just a person on the land. So I mean, you ain't had, you ain't have access to the stuff you was originally like eating from, or you was tapping into resources. So now you relying upon society to provide for you, or you relying upon yourself to go ahead and do certain things to provide money to buy the resources or whatever they was doing to barter. Even if, like you said, you see the kid, the one who got hung, he went to work for a cracker, and he was working for a loaf of bread, my dude. And they lynched him. They lynched him because he stole a loaf of bread. You understand what I'm saying? For his family, he wanted to eat, and then they lynched his mother right behind him. So, like, come on, my dude. Like, I mean, like, is this injustice? Like, what type
You
of shit is
understand what's
this?
going on. You gotta understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And then two people, you gotta think about our people, you know what I'm saying? You had some that was about money, and then you had some that wasn't about money, but they was making money, but they wasn't about money to that certain degree. So they took people in and kind of like took care of people. You know what I'm saying? So, it's all the same, man. It's we got to do the work. You know what I'm saying? You can't just come out your mouth and say, oh, this, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that. Like, you just spewing words, man. And that's what motherfuckers do. They just, oh, slavery. Oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? What about genealogy? What about doing some history other than some books from fucking 1980s?
Mm.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's right.
really
I mean,
understand shit.
that's and you know what though? That's the ultimate spin to place yourself where you need to place yourself. You know what I'm saying? We talk about genealogy. I'm not a specialist of it, but I
Yeah,
definitely subscribe to it, and I
yeah,
definitely tell individuals to go back and trace how far their ancestors go back,
yeah,
especially in this land. You know what I'm saying? Always do that though, but
yeah.
it comes
But
to a certain point in time. Even when you reach that point in time, because like I said, man, for a lot of us, we still have these identity crises where even if we do, bro, even if we do know, you might see an Indian. Some people be ashamed to say they got an Indian in their family because they don't want other people to know. Like I've heard people say that shit too. Like I've heard a lot of different stories among just talking to people, and some of the stories that they tell you about what happened to their people and why their people is in the situation that they're in. So, for the most part, man, I just like speak up on. I gotta run, man. I gotta go handle some business, man. But for the most part, man, thank you for coming through, my brother.
thanks for having me, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime, my
The
brother.
Jaguar over there.
You know how we do, man. Just hit me up anytime, man. Yeah, man. Loving light to everybody, man. Like I said, no disrespect to anybody, man. Anybody, man. Like I don't have a problem with any individual, but please do not tell us about what happened here in this country, man. Because this country is racism. Is the racism here is like no other. And even though they mask it with this fake ass democracy shit, and they see the other people when they come here, they don't experience racism, especially if you're an immigrant, because they automatically can look at your name and know who you are. You understand what I'm saying? And then they take it from there. So especially if your name, if you're Raheem Jackson, or you a Malik Edwards. They look at you and they use it according to them, because like I said, man, I have been pulled over by white people and like with no license, no registration, no keys to the fucking car, my dude, and they let me go. So I can't say all, like I've been in situations with police to where, you know what I'm saying, like they wasn't like extreme like you see them in these videos or whatever. Like, and I'm talking about like real situations that probably could have went left easy. But like I said, you got to know how to even handle yourself amongst them people, man. Like I said, there's ways to get the motherfuckers to get an understanding to where, like, look, man, I ain't beat for that shit y'all trying to do right now, my dude. Like, you go do that shit to one of these niggas who think they're slave, or to one of these other individuals. Matter of fact, do it to one of your own kind. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, I'm about to get out of here, though, man. But like I said, thank you for coming through. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Thank everybody coming through. The word is
Peace,
Culture
peace.
Freedom. Hidden Cultures of America, Black Indians. And definitely, if you want to donate, you know where to go. If you want to go to the T-shirt Spring app, you know where to go. And with that being said, we are out of here, man. Peace.
Peace.